Hey everyone, welcome to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, episode 117. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in and introduce you to our, this is the normal crew, I suppose. You guys know by now, to my right, we have Eric Muller.
Hello.
And then also, Mr. 5J Gaming.
Hey guys.
Yes, Mr. 5J is back. Sadly, he couldn't make the Moved podcast last week, but that's all right. I need to stop moving it. That's probably the real problem here. If I stop moving it around, everything works out fine. Anyways, it's good. It's good to be back with our regular crew here. We have a few topics for you guys this week. I guess we always start out with the very first one, as always. What have we been playing lately? I'm going to toss over to the 5J because hey, I didn't hear what he was playing last week. So what's he playing now?
Sure. I've been playing. Remember last time I was on the podcast, I kind of talked about the whole Digimon versus Pokemon thing, and I was like, "Oh, hey, there's these Digimon games, and they might be better than Pokemon, but I haven't played them." So, decided to finally actually give them a shot. It's Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, the 2-pack on Switch. Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. They are very traditional JRPG. Mm-hmm. They don't have that same kind of feeling as a Pokemon game, but they're really good. If you're a JRPG fan, I definitely recommend them. It actually kind of feels more like Persona. So if you're a fan of Persona, I think you'll really dig this Digimon game, especially if you're also a Digimon fan.
Okay.
Digimon still, yeah. I also been playing some Yu-Gi-Oh. They have the Yu-Gi-Oh card game on Switch with a friend. And getting into card games again lately, so he was like, "Hey, we should check this out."
Nice.
It's a great Yu-Gi-Oh game. And then go back to some classics, some Smash Bros. Checking out Terry and Banjo and Byleth, and I like all of them, honestly. Byleth can be tricky.
Yes, Byleth can be tricky.
Powerful. Holy crap. And some Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I'm realizing I'm very much itching for Mario Kart 9 to come out. I'm ready.
You're ready. You're very. I've been ready since Mario Kart 8 came out back on Wii U. To be honest, after they released the DLC, I was like, okay, cool. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's like, that's great. So are we just not getting Mario Kart 9? Man.
I was very happy that they added the battle mode, the good battle mode, to Deluxe because it's a very good battle mode. So ready for 9's battle mode.
Yeah.
And that's the big donut.
The big donut.
Yes.
Eric, have you been playing anything? No excuse this time. You have your Switch now.
Yeah, but I don't have the game I was playing.
Oh, that's true. But you have other games.
I do not.
There's no other games.
No other games besides Luigi's Mansion. No.
I haven't. That's okay.
Honestly, the last week and a half of work has just been
killer,
beyond ridiculous. Yeah,
even your funny things you send to me are way low.
Yeah.
Usually there's a half dozen a day, and now I'm like one every other day, maybe.
Yeah, right? I think it was it yesterday or the day before? No, I think it was the day before that I was at work I normally work 8 hours, but I get an hour for lunch. I didn't get lunch, so I was at work for 9 hours. I think out of that 9 hours, I was on the phone for 6.5, 7 hours.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
I hate that so much.
Yeah, so I had a 4-hour phone call right over my lunch period. Yeah, it was fantastic. But no, I haven't really been playing a whole lot besides South Park Phone Destroyer because that's about the only thing I can get in. So
because you could just stop pretty much.
Yeah.
I've been playing the game that you wish you were playing, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Bastard.
It's okay. Hopefully here, I will just finish off the single player in the next week, and then you can have it back.
There you go.
So then I'll move on to the Pokemon game I was supposed to play that I promised our viewers I'd play.
Did you finally get past the one place you were stuck at last week?
No. I
Oh.
even restarted again. So I think I'm going to go turn to a walkthrough now.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of things that I had to even look up. I was just like, this
and
isn't
I don't use walkthroughs. I don't use walkthroughs.
No, I normally don't either.
Luigi's Mansion 3. Why do I need a walkthrough for the Luigi's Mansion 3?
Pokemon is how could you possibly need a walkthrough for Pokemon?
No, there's a couple things.
Unless you're shiny hunting or something.
In Luigi's Mansion 3 that just aren't necessarily the most obvious.
I don't care if they're obvious.
No,
I have literally flashlighted and plungered and
I think
did the little reverse ghost light thing.
Did you Gooigi everything?
Yeah, I've done everything I can do.
I'm pretty sure I know roughly about the part that you're stuck at. And that one.
And here's the thing: I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to regret the fact that I restarted to get back to it because it was a glitch. You're just an idiot.
Yeah, no,
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be so mad when I look it up. I'm gonna be so
you are
mad when I look it up. You know, whoever wrote that guide on GameFAQs that I'm about to look at tomorrow, I hate you. I wish you didn't exist because I'm gonna be kicking myself when I look it up how dumb I am.
That's how it goes. But is that worse than being incredibly frustrated for hours?
Well, it's not.
It's
better. It's better than going on live stream and showing my frustration for 4 hours in the same room.
There you go.
So I mean,
it's a different frustration.
I guess I could just not say public. Hey guys, I didn't use a walkthrough. I did it on my own.
Yeah, it goes from being.
There you go.
You go from being frustrated at the game
Never
to
used a
frustrated at
walkthrough my whole life.
yourself for not being able to figure it out.
But whatever. We'll see how many more times this happens to me. The fact that it's happening to me this early in the game scares me. But,
Are you trying to do 100% all along the way?
No.
So
Hell no.
What sort of thing are you stuck on? Is it like a story progression thing?
I am literally in Egad's room trying to chase the ghost who took his little. It's really early in the game. Took his briefcase or whatever that I was supposed to go retrieve. She flies through the wall, and then you get locked in the room with 3 ghosts. I beat the 3 ghosts. Everything unlocks, but I can't interact with the doors. And when I shine the dark light at the wall, you can see where the ghost went through, but nothing appears. No door, no way to get through. I am literally just stuck in the room chucking stuff around with nothing to do. I can't leave.
I think I know that part too. That is very early on. You're getting it done with the week and you're stuck there.
Yes, that's my problem. When I look up what it is, I'm gonna be like, I'm just done. I'm not gonna get through any other room. Every room in the game is gonna be this way. I'm just gonna walk through the whole game.
Yikes! Yeah. As long as you have fun doing it.
I was having fun until I got stuck. Now it's
I'm saying,
fun.
if you use a walkthrough, as long as you're still having fun, then no shame.
No, because then I know what's going to happen before it happens. Because I always read ahead. I can't help it.
That is, or you glance at the screenshot and you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I get it.
And the thing is, I used to write walkthroughs. So
yeah, way to go. You're that asshole.
I am that asshole.
People wouldn't look if they didn't need it, so their own fault.
I suppose. Hey, that's a cool thing that just popped up on the screen.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chrome. You're giving me an error code as if I can do anything about it right now.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, I guess that's really it then. Kind of short and sweet this week, but that's all right. Let's just hop in. I guess let's do our first big topic, and it's in literally the thumbnail, guys. We got to be talking about E3. All right, because there's been a lot of weird things happening with E3. Used to be, an industry-only event like a handful of years ago. And then it changed because there was low attendance, and they wanted to get gamers in, or I should say certain companies like Sony wanted gamers to be let in. And so they eventually did it. And in 2018, they actually saw the highest number of attendees they've had since 2005. Which I always thought was interesting why the number of attendees really mattered overall besides wanting to make money, I guess. But they got in for free because it was an industry event. So I always wondered why they even cared about the number of attendees because it's just about media and people who work in the industry. So who really cares about the numbers? You care about how many people buy your crap after the event. That's what I always thought mattered. But then they're like, attendance numbers matter. Okay, cool. So they let gamers in, and now it's like, okay, so now we're going to charge gamers $250 a ticket, get all this money. Okay. And it peaked in 2018. We were there in 2018.
Uh-huh.
Sweet.
Really busy that year.
Yes,
it was hard to do anything. And then last year, was similar, although there was, no Sony. First year Sony dipped out, so that was a big you could tell Sony wasn't there.
Yes, you could.
It just
a hole.
It wasn't a hole. They filled it okay, but it was definitely not with stuff that was that interesting.
Not a physical hole,
but like a mental. Like
You could tell there was
some
a
don't feel right.
presence not
It's
there,
like, it basically
yeah.
felt like it kind of felt like, okay, so the only reason to really go to the convention center now is Nintendo, and then you want to go all the way over to Microsoft if you wanted to do anything else.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like there was an EA Play event, there was a Nintendo event, and then there was the Microsoft Theater.
EA, good God, that would. If we can get media for that one, that's good to go. But
I'm never doing
Good
EA
God.
Play again.
I mean, honestly,
Unless I get media, it
Right,
can skip all the
exactly.
lines. I'm not.
oh God, that was.
Oh,
that
it's
was
just busy.
rough.
EA Play is a mess.
We stood in line for what, 4 or 5 hours to go into
Just to watch a video of
watch
the
a
Star
video
Wars.
of Star Wars. Yeah,
Oh,
But
boy.
like, there was nothing else there worth doing. To be fair,
Yikes.
yeah.
unless you wanted to meet a YouTube celebrity or something, or a streamer.
Whoa, were you there shaking hands with people?
No, no one. I don't think anybody recognized me at EA.
No.
Play. There was a couple people at E3 that did, but
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, no, EA Play is whatever, and EA backed out of E3 and does their own thing now, so whatever. E3 has just been in trouble with companies. Have basically been a big disagreement. This is what I've been told behind the scenes. There's a big disagreement between companies on what they want E3 to be. There's a lot of companies that want it to just keep being an industry-only event. Then you have companies like Sony, who the reason they're not in E3 again this year is because they want it to be a fan event. They want it to be like PSX. And EA is
Like
not
just a convention.
yeah, and EA is not, or
Really?
the ESA is not willing to make it just a convention because everything else is just a convention. PAX is just a convention. Gamescom is just a convention. They want it to be this different event because it's always been a different kind of event. And in doing that, nobody's happy. Basically.
Sure.
Literally, well,
Right.
I'm sorry. I should say nobody. Nintendo seems perfectly happy.
Totally happy.
But I think Nintendo has just accepted it for what it is, and they just dominate every year.
Yeah.
Well, and they were the ones that first. I mean, it's not a lazy thing, but it seems lazy when it's like, all right, we're renting out the amphitheater and we're just gonna play a video.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
They obviously put a lot of effort into every video, but yeah,
Well, and
It
I mean the
seems
videos
like
are the videos are well polished, and to be honest, Nintendo had been dropping the ball at the live ones for a number of years.
yeah, man,
They
but when
almost
had it good, it
haven't.
was so-
They had like there was obviously well when they nailed it like at E3 2006 that was crazy.
man.
You pull the dang Wii out of the coat, and then you have like Twilight Princess drop out of nowhere. And you're just what is happening right now? Like it was
glory days of
2004,
Reggie.
2005, 2006. Like those were like the golden years. And then since then,
Yep.
it's been kind of yeah, we don't know what we're doing. Skyward Sword doesn't work on stage, so everything's
Oh
all
my
messed
gosh, yeah. Oh,
Like-
let's demonstrate Weep music.
up. All those years they kept like just listing statistics for a half hour. And it's like this isn't a business meeting. It's okay, we don't really care about any of this stuff, but it's like Nintendo didn't understand how to really do a press conference, and so they said, "Well, we're really good at these digital directs. So let's just do a little bit longer digital direct where we don't have mistakes because it's all in house, and we can edit out stuff." And so they did that, and then they did really, really awesome. They used to even make it even more special. They'd always have like a little skit at the beginning.
Yeah, they had all these jokes all the way through,
Yeah.
and there's all these golden
But-
videos of Reggie making a fool of himself.
Yeah, but to be fair, that was under Satoru Iwata, so
Yeah.
obviously things were going to change when you have a different person in charge.
Yeah.
But they're still like big. Like if you guys go back and you last year there was hardly any directs, but if you go back and look at last year's digital direct thing at E3, it was still much bigger with much more games than any other thing they showed last year. So it's still Nintendo is still treating E3 as like the number one place to showcase stuff per year, even though they're going to showcase it at other things. Maybe, I don't know. We'll get into that later because it's been a while since we've had a general direct.
Yeah.
But so E3's gone through all this internal debate and changes. Last year, really the big thing that ruffled a lot of media is that there was a massive leak of all of the media's credentials from their home addresses and personal phone numbers.
Oh, not a good leak.
And it wasn't gamers, it was the media. So we were kind of lucky we didn't get it as media last year, because all of our stuff could have got leaked. Not that anyone cares about little old me, but I mean, it could have happened. And I don't know if most major media changed their numbers and everything, but I haven't heard anything bad, like any gamers that did anything bad out of that, like going after certain media members. But it's still one of those things that, like, that's not good. Like, you are literally the ESA that rates every video game in the U.S. We shouldn't have to worry about a security leak over this kind of this magnitude. Like, there should be so many layers to get through that, like, it shouldn't take this long to figure out all the stuff leaked. And how it leaked was just the stupidest oversight I've ever. I mean, I'm telling you, I could have hacked into it. It was through the website. I could have hacked into it when I was 10.
Yeah, because
that's how easy it was.
Garbage.
Oh, their website is garbage. We always know the website's garbage.
Yeah.
Anyways, so they did all that, and that happened, and then this year, they're technically the E3 website for 2020 wasn't even supposed to be up yet, and that site leaked.
They got it under control. Don't worry about it, guys.
Yeah, they got it under control. It's all good. It wasn't supposed to be up to the 15th. So, like, it's saying, you could register, but you can't register because registration's not open yet because the website's not supposed to be open yet. But it's open because somebody found a way. And it's like, this is just massive incompetence. And you have like a big figure like Jeff Keighley, who for the first time ever is not going to E3. He made a public statement. He's like, people are going to ask or whatever. I'm not doing it. He's not hosting E3 Coliseum like he's been the last few years. He's just not going to attend at all. And he said, this is based on things he knows behind the scenes and things that are known publicly. He hopes the show can turn around in the future and not be such a mess, but he thinks it's just a hot mess and nobody knows what's going on. Oof. And he doesn't want to keep participating and keep supporting an event that he doesn't believe in the direction of, which is really interesting because Xbox is still there. Xbox Series X is there this year. That Nintendo's there with all their Switch goodness. The EA and, well, not EA so much, but Activision's there and Ubisoft are there too. Like, most of the major third-party publishers are still there, so it still has quite a bit of support from the industry. But it's the problem doesn't seem to be getting support. The problem seems to be what they're doing once they have it. And how they're handling the actual show floor and the focus of it. Like, if you go on the E3 website, they even mention something on there, like the focus now, and like the announcement post, it says like the focus now is on, like meet and greets with celebrities and like why do we care about, like, yes, Keanu Reeves was huge last year, but guess what? He's in a video game.
Yeah.
Like, there's actually a point for him to be there. Mm-hmm.
Right.
There's not a point to just have like John Cena show up and be like, I played the Switch. Come meet me. Like, okay, yeah, it's cool for commercials. This is like not what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be gaming Christmas, not John Cena Christmas or whatever they end up doing.
Yeah. Right.
Sorry, John Cena. No offense to you. You were hired to
Jeff
do commercials.
Keighley's probably not real upset either because if E3 collapses, he's just going to try and turn the Game Awards into E3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and he's
Come
already...
on to my event, guys.
Oh, yeah, and he's already basically been doing that. The Game Awards does a much better job presenting like trailers and stuff than a lot of the actual events at E3 do. And I even joked around on Twitter. I said, maybe the ESA should just hire Jeff Keighley to run E3.
Yeah.
Because he seems way more in tune with the industry and gamers than the entirety of the ESA. Which, by the way, the ESA is made up of a board of people from Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Like, it's made up from the very people. And, like, Sony's part of the ESA. It doesn't want to be in it because they don't agree with what's happening. And I don't know. It's interesting to me because, like, everyone seems to be creating this drama around E3, and like there even was a brief moment where people wondered if Nintendo was going to E3 because they weren't on the exhibitor list, and then the ESA released a statement like, "Oh yeah, Nintendo is in there." Nintendo technically said they were going to be part of E3 back in January, and on an interview, Doug Bowser committed to it, but like people kind of ignored it because it's like, okay, you said that in an interview, but now this is February, and now you're not on the exhibitor list. You are like the prime exhibitor.
Exhibitor.
Like, why wouldn't you be on the list?
Yeah.
So there's all that going on, and I'm just sitting back, and I'm just like, man, why is this such a mess? Like, and the thing is Nintendo's gonna do what they always do. I'm not that worried about them. To be honest, they're going to do their digital thing. They're going to have their Treehouse Live. All of it's going to be pretty amazing. Even if you don't end up getting the big announcements you want, you know Treehouse Live is going to be good because it's always been good. They haven't had a bad year of that yet. And you know that like there's going to be good demos on the floor and all that's good. Like, it's going to be same old Nintendo. But, heck, Nintendo will probably have an awesome themed booth this year. Depends on what game they're going to theme it around this year.
I love their booths.
Yeah.
Nintendo. Last year's booth was... half of it was whatever. The other half was all Luigi's Mansion. That part was really cool. But
it was 3 parts.
Well, okay, yeah, it was 3 parts, but still.
Because it was Pokemon, Luigi's Mansion, and then
but Link's Awakening was basically... No,
it was Link's Awakening other game area.
Yeah, and Link's Awakening was like right next to the other game area.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some like some dioramas and stuff,
but it was 3 parts. But
I don't really consider that part themed.
No, it's not. No, that part wasn't really themed, but it was 3 separate areas.
Was it really? Sure. I mean, originally you had to get into Link's Awakening through the main area. So it technically was just separate areas. It was just 2 areas. It was the general game area with the Link's Awakening line inside the because that's remember the very first day.
No, I know.
They separated it on day 2 because they're like, that was a mistake. Yeah, no, it wasn't because let everyone else screw around. We'll wait for the line to open up and hop in.
Yeah.
So we don't have to wait 5 hours to play Link's Awakening.
Yeah. But no, you still had the Pokemon area and Luigi's Mansion area too.
Yeah.
So those were 2 separate
they did
areas.
have the Pokemon area too. Yeah. I don't remember being that impressed by the Pokemon area, but it was neat. Like you walk inside and have all the Pokemon music playing, but it's
you felt
Luigi's Mansion.
You felt like you were in a Coliseum. Yeah, that one was awesome.
That was sick. They should have just themed the whole thing after Luigi's Mansion.
Great.
But just like they did Breath of the Wild. Of course, Breath of the Wild was the only game there. But the year we didn't go, they did. It was Mario Odyssey and. Like the whole booth was Mario Odyssey themed, but they had other games.
That would have been cool to see too.
But yeah, I don't know. So I'm not that worried about what Nintendo. We know what we're gonna get from Nintendo in general, and it's gonna be good. But kind of like John earlier brings up, he talks about in the chat, that he feels like when's E3, gonna go away for good, or how do you feel like do you guys think E3 is gonna go away for good? I mean, there's still so many companies supporting it.
I think it could, not necessarily because people won't support it, but so much as now they have so much more power to do whatever they want that they don't have to be beholden to some company that's laying down rules for them. Sony has no problem leaving because PSX is such a big deal now, right? I mean, it's a great event too. So if they get any directives come their way that they don't agree with, they'll just be like, fine, whatever, see ya. And so many people have that option now.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like cram everyone into a room, everyone's reporting on the same thing, and then it all goes out on the websites at the same time. It was like your one and only way to get this information, but it's not that way anymore.
Yeah. To me, what bugs me about what E3 is doing is they seem to be they're clinging on to a part of gaming culture that I don't think is the brunt of it, and that is either just plain old celebrities like trying to do like what NBA and other people do, whatever, or they're trying to latch on to like gaming celebrities like YouTubers, and like we saw, although EA was or ESA and E3 wasn't promoting him per se, we saw Dr. Disrespect get kicked out last year because he was live streaming while he was going to the bathroom. Granted, there wasn't anything actually inappropriate in it. It was just the fact that he was in the bathroom. And like the thing is that like people really like these. I mean, with these big gaming YouTube personalities, PewDiePies of the world, they have all these followers, and it's great and all. But then what end up turning it into is a fan event for fans of that person versus fans of video games.
Right.
Like I know a lot of people that watch Dr. Disrespect not because they care about what game he's playing, but because he's funny. They watch PewDiePie videos because he's funny. They'll watch Ninja at times because he's really good. But then, like, Ninja also says stupid things sometimes, and they like to see those stupid things come. They like to see that he's a human. Like he makes mistakes and says dumb things too. Like people. Right. They watch my videos. Like, you can get the news anywhere. You probably already have the news, but like, there's a reason you prefer to hear me talk about it. You prefer my opinions on it. And, like, you start to care more about the person than the games. And that, to me, I think is a problem for E3 that if they continue to go down that route will destroy the show. Because I don't know how many publishers are going to want to keep being like, hey, I thought it was about us, and now it's about people who play our games.
It's like taking a nerdy convention that covers a broad amount of topics and trying to turn it into a Star Trek convention. So there's nothing wrong with the Star Trek convention. You're going to have a lot of people that want to go. But then you just cut out everybody else who was there for the other stuff.
Yeah. Like there used to be like VidCon and everything for YouTuber convention, and it's like, okay, well then just have like a gaming YouTuber convention.
Right, exactly.
And then have E3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
why does it have to be the same? Convention. Why does it have to be the same thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you can support content creators and alternative media, and then still have your but those people are playing this. Like let's talk about this. Mm-hmm. Let's actually focus on the games. And
these people wouldn't be here without these games.
And the reason they're doing it is because they're trying to drive fan interest to come in. They even lowered the ticket price from $250 to $160 this year. But,
they did?
Yeah, well, yeah, but they took away a whole day.
Oh, yeah.
So now you can't even go the first day.
Yeah, but are the hours probably equal out?
Well, they do because you get to enter right away. So the hours equal out, but I don't know. Like, if you're media, basically, you have 1 day.
Depending on what you're covering, yeah.
I mean, basically, because otherwise you're going to be stuck with super long lines right away now.
Yeah.
But I don't... see, that's the thing. They're trying to place it to different people. Here's a day for media. The other 2 days are for everyone. And that's fine. But, like, lengthen the event. Keep it so gamers can still have 3 days. Give media their 2 days. Make it a 5-day event. Why has it got to be stuck at 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot to consider there because then you got to be asking all these other companies to be there longer, and maybe they're not. Maybe the board just won't approve of going from 3 days to 5. But like it's already almost a week-long event as it is. We got EA Play over the weekend, and they do a live stream. Yep. There's all these build-up and pre-shows, and I don't know. It just feels like E3 is still this big event, but I do worry. Here's the thing: I don't think E3 is going anywhere for a while. I've talked to several media people at bigger outlets, and all of them are basically like, it's not going to go anywhere for a long time. It's still too popular. It's still too big. It's not so big it can't ever fall. It's just we're starting to see it shrink. And it's going to be a matter of how long or how much deterioration needs to happen before the ESA pulls the plug. And it's going to be quite a bit because the ESA wants to maintain its importance as well. And if the ESA just boils down to, we're just the ESRB now, they're not going to like that because they won't have any control or any power in the industry. So the ESA just overall wants to maintain its control, so they want to keep E3 relevant. And that's why they're trying to do all these different drastic changes. It kind of reminds me of in any place, if you've ever been hired by a place that doesn't really seem to know what the hell they're doing, but they just want you to be there and do a job. Pretty much any sort of personal care job you can get. None of the managers or anyone really knows what the hell is going on, but in the end, you're supposed to make the end customer or the end person feel good and get their food and go to... So, like, you know what they're supposed to do, but along the way, it's just 10 times more difficult than it ever should be just to do a really basic thing like cook a meal and do some laundry. But, like, there's got to be all these weird steps in between that make literally no sense and waste everyone's time. And that's what's starting to happen here, where all the people in control don't really seem to have a focus on what this should be. No one can agree. Like, that's the big thing. Why is, like, Sony's part of the ESA and they do not agree. So they're just said, screw it. Like, they can't come to a compromise that works. And I'm of mind that I think it should have just stayed as an industry-only event. I think that was really, really cool when they did that because it was the only thing like that. And in a world where information comes out in other ways, what was really cool about it is that, but a lot of demos are debuted here. And if only media get to play them, that's fine. We got more demos when only media could play them because if a demo broke, media knew, like, okay, like they rushed these demos to get here. Of course there's going to be bugs. It's going to break. We're not going to hold that against them. But if it breaks for a fan, they're going to go on the internet and complain, and it's going to be this big deal. So I think they should have never cared about attendance, focused on the quality, and just left it at that. But Sony wanted to go a different direction. So did some other companies, and now they're out. So I don't.
And it might be hard to go back because now
I don't think you can go
access,
back. Yeah, I don't think you can go back. I think they're to the point where they just need to turn it into a general convention and just hope for the best. Hope they could just be another Gamescom.
Or start a second convention. All right, fine. E3 is for everyone, but now we have a new, even exclusive convention for media only.
Good luck. There's so many conventions. Good luck getting another one in there. They tried it at first. They tried having a separate fan event and then E3 and like the fans with the fan about like, dude, this is not E3. Like, no, it's not E3. It's like a fan festival. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, why were you expecting E3? This is
well, because it was supposed to be E3 for fans. Was kind of was advertised as, but it wasn't. Like I was saying, like having your 2-day media, 3 like there you go. That's E3 for fans. It's E3 for media, but like there's not enough time in between. As an example, like if you're gonna have your media days and you're gonna have even more demos on those days for the media, this like that's great, but like there's no turnover time to switch over to fans then too. So
unless you have a day in between.
Yeah, but good luck with that. Yeah, it's they can't go back, and the direction they're going in doesn't feel right either. Like even PAX and like Gamescom, they don't focus on like celebrities. Like this isn't the Oscars or something here. We're talking about a place where people are coming to play game demos, and the number one complaint every single year coming out of E3 is I didn't get to play enough game demos because the lines were too long.
Yeah, what do you do about that?
So like you should be figuring out how to make the lines smaller by maybe limiting the number of people that you let in, or which they don't want to do because people like Sony, who's not even there, wants as many people in as possible. Okay, well then find a way to rent out the streets and extend the venue out. Like there's already all these extended. Like if you go to E3, it's not just the LA Convention Center.
No,
it's like a whole 3-4 block radius of stuff. That, I mean, there's whole streets rented out with like game spots sitting in the middle of a street, taking up a whole block, and like it's an event, and it's really cool. Like if you live somewhere in California, you absolutely go to E3 sometime. Like I'm not saying that you should spend all the money to fly out, hotel, and all that. That gets really expensive, but it's a really cool event to go to just once. But like, why can't the ESA take over more of that and extend it out and just be like, yeah, like as an example, Staples Center is right there.
Yeah, right.
Why can't they rent out Staples Center as well and have it be a 2-building event? You have more demos, spread the people out even more.
Be a 3-building event with Xbox.
Well, because of Xbox. But maybe if you rented out Staples Center, you give Xbox to come back in.
Yeah.
And now you can have, here's the Nintendo Hall, here is Xbox Hall, and we split the third parties between them both. Enjoy.
Yeah, but I don't.
Because the way Xbox does it sucks too. You have to wait in a really long single file line basically to get into stage. Xbox because even get into the building.
Yep.
And then once you get into the building, it's like, okay, we have some controller stuff and accessories over here. Oh, you want to play games? Oh, you want to play games?
Yeah.
Want to play games? Well, then go into the theater and just like sit in the chairs and wait your turn.
Yep. Yeah, it's
like way worse than it like when we went in 2016 and Microsoft was actually in. It was way better when Microsoft. Like we could walk up and like, hey, if no one's really in this game, you just walk up and play. Here it's like, no, you got to sit down and wait your turn, and wait. You'll eventually get to go up there and play some stuff.
Yep.
And
their
the stage is so
big.
much smaller.
It isn't that big. So
yeah, their stage is way smaller
so
than their actual space inside E3.
You don't get a whole lot of people up there playing the games. Then it's just it was cool to see.
Yeah, it's neat to like you walk in and you see it like, oh, this looks cool. Then you get up there like, this isn't a lot of space.
No.
And like they took up a lot of the space with like this TV lounge playing area, and I'm like, you don't have enough room for this.
And didn't they have the car up there too?
You have like 8 demo stations. You don't have room for this. What are you?
Yeah, didn't they have a car up on stage too?
Yeah, I think they had a car up there too. It's like, you guys have no room.
Yeah.
We want more like the number one issue we have as even media members are there's not enough demo stations. So like, why? Like fix that, ESA. The number one complaint, you hear it every year. So work with people.
Well,
Give Nintendo a discount. Let them double the size of their booth. Sony ain't there anymore. Screw it.
Right. And that was the one nice thing about when we went with Breath of the Wild. It was all Breath of the Wild, so there was a ton of that demo, which seemed to pump through people.
Oh yeah, and they had the demo on rotation. They had each section was on like a 15-minute rotation.
Yeah.
So like every 15 minutes they got in like a big group of like 30 people. But that was easy to do when it's just one demo,
Right.
though. So
that's what
Right.
we're saying though is.
and Nintendo even knew, like, this year they split up the 2 demos they thought would take the longest, Pokemon
Yep.
and Luigi, and then they didn't originally split off Link's Awakening, but they kind of, I think, set it up knowing they might have to.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had all the rest of the games that, like, literally you don't even wait to really get in.
Yeah, no, you're
You
right.
just walk in and
Yeah.
just play them because no one else really. Not to say people don't care about them, but
Yeah.
it's like people don't care about them. It's like this is the we don't care section of games.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything third party.
Yeah.
It's just the we don't care section of games for Nintendo. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it was all. I've been to E3 3 times,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
and still to this day, 2016 was the best year.
Yeah.
I think it was the very first year they let the public in. We got to go as media, so
Yep.
to be fair, it's the only time we got to go as media. But we didn't really take advantage of that fact till the final day. So
Yeah.
we pretty much were just like having gamer passes.
Yeah.
And even then, we were only there for the one game because we were representing Zelda Informer at the time. And people complained about the line for Zelda. I'm like, dude, we got to play it like 3-4 times a day.
Yeah. Right.
When it's the only thing you're trying to play, it's
Yeah.
really not that hard to play anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
But like even then, like we walked around, if everything felt more full. There was a lot of buzz about the actual games. Yes, it was the first year the public was let in, so they were all amazed because it was basically this is E3 of old, but now the public's in, so it's really cool. Way too many people, way too many people. I can say that.
Yeah.
But then like, when we went back in 2018 with gamer passes as Nintendo Prime, it was like, okay, this is still pretty cool, but. Like I'm even trying to remember much from that year that even stood out to me. I mean, meeting people.
Yeah.
Bob Wolf.
Yeah.
That was cool. We met Super Dave. We met Neil Willis.
Mm-hmm.
So like we got to meet some people. And that was fun. But like that's.
Right.
But what about the actual event?
I'm trying to remember.
The one thing I always remember is when I forgot my badge. And then and that was the day we were gonna play Pokemon.
Yep.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
And then that line was forever. That was one of the worst lines.
Yes, it was.
That was worst, probably the worst line I've been in with a Nintendo game. But like I don't even remember playing anything besides Pokemon that year. Like nothing really. Oh wait, was that Ninjala year?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I remember
Ninjala?
Ninjala.
year.
Just wait.
I feel like you brought this up before.
Oh,
but
it's
I
been brought
forgot
up
what it
before.
is.
Fantastic game. When is that supposed to come out? Isn't that
It was supposed
to
to come out last year. It's
I know,
supposed to
but
come out.
Is it
I have
supposed
no
to come
idea.
out this year?
It's like infinitely delayed by Gung Ho.
Yes.
But,
Look it up. It's freaking fantastic.
And the thing is, like, I don't know if anyone remembers it anymore. It's been so long.
Yeah, right.
I really hope it didn't get canceled. That would
That
upset me.
blow.
But yeah, besides that, and I don't really remember a whole lot from that year.
No.
And like, and that was supposedly the year that had the best attendance. Maybe that's why I don't remember because there's too many people. And then last year, and I don't have much complaints about last year. It was fine for the most part. But like it was empty. It felt without Sony there. Like you could feel like they filled it up with a lot of like. What was it, like 3 or 4 different energy drink places?
Yeah.
Like all right next to each other, crammed in because that's where Sony usually is, and there's no one else there now. And then they set up like this VR garden thing or whatever that was stupid.
I thought it was kind of cool, but
it looks cool on the
yeah.
outside, but everyone said that when they did it, it was the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it was, if you actually did it and put the goggles on, like it was the dumbest experience. And half the things didn't even work apparently, and I'm just like, okay, cool. And they're not doing that this year to their credit. They're replacing it with celebrities and guest appearances and YouTubers, and it's like,
yeah, no.
That's not what we want. We want more gaming stuff. Well, we really want Sony back in there, but like,
are you sure that's not what we want as people that go? That might shorten the lines because everybody's trying to meet the YouTuber. We're like, it might.
Did it work at EA?
I don't know.
They had literally
true.
the meet and
That's
greet right
true.
across from
That is
Star
true.
Wars. Did it work? Did it shorten the line? Really? Did it feel like the line was shortened?
No.
Yeah. I think we were lucky to get in because by the time we got out there, EA Play was closing.
Yeah.
So, oh man.
God.
Honestly, I think it all depends on what you're going for. Like, if you're a gamer that wants to go to see other like media members that you really like, or YouTubers you really like I think it's kind of a decent thing. Like first year we bumped into Angry Joe for a little bit. We didn't say anything to him.
Just walk past him.
Yeah, we could have literally bumped into him. But,
Yeah.
But that there was some medical thing was going on at that time too, an emergency. But like you could bump into YouTubers and all this stuff, and that's really cool. Like if that's what you want to go is just to see and meet people and get pictures and autographs and pump up your Instagram, then fine. Mm-hmm. Or TikTok, I guess that's a big thing these days.
Yeah.
So it's something new every year.
Spring 2020. I'm over here watching Ninjala.
Oh
yeah.
Dude.
Teaser says spring 2020. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I mean,
TikTok,
hold out for hope.
TikTok was at E3.
Oh yeah, TikTok was at E3.
It was over by the other hall.
Yeah, there.
TikTok? Don't you mean TikTok?
Yeah,
TikTok.
that's what I said.
Oh,
the Midwestern accent. Tic-tac.
I mean, I'm like a few hours.
I know you are.
I just don't know about the whole. I guess if that's what you're going for, you could be happy. Like if we would have went to EA Play, and we didn't care about seeing games, and we just wanted to sit down and watch the live show in person with Greg Miller and all the people, I bet you that would have been pretty enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because like I caught a little bit of after. I'm like, oh, the live show actually looked kind of cool. Greg Miller was trying to get the crowd pumped up. And I'm like, yeah, being part of that, it's kind of like going to a sporting event. That's like going to a live press conference. Like that's kind of cool. But if you're not going for stuff like that, if you're not going for the interactive stuff, and you actually care about the games,
right?
It's not really that kind of thing anymore. They try to make it that, but it's not.
The experience from home now is so good too, because back in the glory days of E3 and you were trying to watch it on the internet, you'd have like the worst low quality videos and they were tiny, but they were still so exciting you couldn't help but still watch them on these crappy little videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now everything's in 1080p HD, 60 frames per second, and you're like, oh, what, they couldn't get 4K?
Go over to Twitch Live at E3. They got 4K 60 over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big deal this year, too, with the Xbox Series X being there. There's probably going to be some games on it being shown off, and you better be streaming in 4K or people are going to be pissed.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't worry, Nintendo's still rocking the 720 for you guys. Yeah. It's all good.
Sweet.
But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. Eric, got any thoughts?
I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It might start dwindling, but it's going to be few years before if it ever does dissolve. It's going to be a few years.
Well, I can tell you right now that I don't know if we're going this year.
Yeah.
Like there's like a personal thing, like something's just inside me saying that it's just not worth it. I mean, it's harder for me than you because like I have children and other things going on in my life that like just walking away from for like a week is a little harder to do, even though it's a lot of fun to like just get the break. The break alone from the kids is nice, but also when I get back, I think I pay for it every year.
Yeah.
And I started with the question, me paying for what happens to me when I get home, is it worth the trip? And then I even said, well, maybe I should just pay and have Yulia come with.
There you go.
Then what am I going to pay with? The kids missing us? Okay, cool. Yeah. They might actually miss us for once. That's great.
Perfect. See?
But
perfect solution.
But it's like, but then like if she comes with, I'm not really going to want to do much of E3. Like I'll go for a day and then she'll hate it because the crowds, because she doesn't like crowds. And it's just... I'm like I thought back at our coverage from last year and I was looking at it and I'm like, is it really worth it for the coverage we got? I mean, yeah, they were the highest viewed videos we had of the year for the most part, besides one viral video that I had. But was it worth it? Was it really?
Right.
Like the sleepless nights, staying up editing the video, and like to get like 5,000, 10,000 views. I'm like, I don't really know. Could I just stay home and do news coverage of the event? Because I've never, to be honest, guys, since the start of Nintendo Prime, I've never actually stayed home for an E3 and done just news coverage.
Yeah, worth a shot.
Well, and part of it was like, but that's what made the channel different, was that I treated E3 different, but should I stop treating it different? Should I just treat it like it's just a really extended Nintendo Direct for a week?
Yeah. Maybe.
And a lot of people tell me,
"Oh,
it's
that
not."
way.
Well, a lot of people say it's not worth the money. And setting the money aside, it's just
Yeah.
But like if I lost my desire, like he hasn't lost his desire to go. I can tell.
I'm not saying that. But the Fat Tomato Pizza is worth the trip alone.
So,
Well, then let's
pizza?
just go on vacation to California and do something fun.
All right.
Tell me about this pizza.
Like
Just not
the greatest
tours of the
pizza
Hollywood
ever.
sign.
Yeah, no, don't pay to tour the Hollywood sign. You don't. Yeah, no, not worth it.
Like go out there and do what I should do with my kids. Like go to Disneyland, but without my kids because it'll be
There
more
we
fun
go.
for me.
Yeah, there you go. Disneyland's awesome.
No, greatest pizza ever. Honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, Fat Tomato's
Oh.
great. That is one thing we don't go. How can I really go?
Can you really go another year without Fat Tomato?
without Fat Tomato?
Now, I did go to New York, and I had some pretty fantastic pizza.
There's good pizza in
Yeah.
New York. There's good pizza in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what it is, but it's just so.
And we
good.
thought maybe it was just because we were really hungry.
we tried a couple other places. No, it's still
Fat Tomato.
really freaking good.
Need to take
Well, if I get that
take
way.
5J with to E3. 5J
Yeah,
with
find me there. I'll have pizza. I'll go home. No.
If I'm there, I'll have a slice. Oh, the lines. You'll come to E3. You'll see that you have to wait in the line to even get in the door, and then it'll be like,
Oh,
eh.
No, I
I'll
would love
pass.
E3. I mean, nobody likes being in a crowd. Maybe you like
Yeah.
being around them, but not one of the 10, maybe 100,000 people, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Being there, especially because it would be my first time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the first time's always great. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
as long as you don't expect it to be something it's not, you could have a really good time there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people there that like a lot of gamers just swag hunt, like where's the best swag.
Yeah.
It's like
Sweet.
I don't really care about that. I mean, if I care about trying to make some of my money back from the $250 I spent to get in, then sure, I care about swag hunting because I can just go flip it online. But
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I can tell you guys what. If you went to E3 2016 and you wanted to swag hunt, the best thing you could have done is kept getting in line for Breath of the Wild because those T-shirts and those coins combined a year later were selling for like $150 a pop online. So if you would have went through as many times as we did, you could have paid for your whole trip.
Sweet.
If you never wore it and never took the coin out of the thing.
Right.
Yeah. And then
Oh, and
my
then
my bag
sour
ripped.
spot. Sour spot.
Ugh.
Eric.
Yeah, I ended up with 2 coins.
It's the first time. Oh man.
My zipper on my bag, one of the pockets that I had the coins and my everything else in, broke.
These
quote
coins
unquote,
right here.
Broke. And
It's my last one.
Yeah, I was missing about 4 coins.
We had like 8 or 9
Yeah.
coins. We had a lot of coins.
Yeah.
You keep saying broke with quotation marks. Somebody stole crap out of your bag?
He thinks someone stole it. We don't know for sure. The zipper was broken, so.
But it was stuffed back into the pocket.
Well, like someone could have just been nice trying to stuff whatever they found next to it back in the pocket.
Maybe they
Because
were looking
if
for
it,
money.
here's the thing:
Find it.
if it broke down in the luggage compartment, it flew all over the place. Then, so when they were going to toss it off, they could have been like, "Oh, let me just shove what's here back in," and just.
Yeah.
Then it's everywhere.
Yeah, but
Because you know the luggage isn't tied down.
Oh,
down
no, I
there.
know
It's
it's
just
not.
flop. See, your mistake was putting it in your. You should have had that in your carry-on.
Yeah, but
See, all mine were in my carry-on, so
yeah. At least I didn't forget my hat on the plane.
whatever. The hat's a hat. Who cares? We buy another
I'm
one.
just giving you crap.
All right. The next time we have here, Nintendo Direct. It has been 162 days since the last Nintendo Direct. Like the second longest it's ever been between Directs since Direct started. And we're talking general Directs, folks. We're not talking like there was a Smash Direct, a Pokemon Direct. We're talking general Directs, not individual games. There's a lot of theories on why it's taking so long, but obviously it's happened before. But last time it happened was when they were like done with Wii U and just waiting to reveal Switch. So
Oh, man. That was
They
a dark
really-
period.
like they had E3 and like even E3 was just Zelda. Like we got nothing for it until we announced this system. So
Right.
we are in the midst of the most popular Switch has ever been.
But
So can someone explain to me why we haven't had a general direct since September?
it seems to be working for them.
They just
Yeah.
sold
It's still
100,000
popular.
Switches
Yeah.
in Japan
That's a
last
fair
week
point.
because of
Do they need
the coronavirus led to a boom in Switch sales in Japan last week.
There you go. Why not?
Ring Fit Adventure at number 2, it's carrying the way. I mean,
I don't know.
Are they just resting on their laurels until people stop buying Switches? Then we'll give you one.
Well, one thing that I kind of thought of was that was again Satoru Iwata's thing. So trying to just continue doing something that wasn't really your vision. Yeah, and like Doug Bowser, haha, my name's Bowser, but like he doesn't really get involved with the videos so much.
He doesn't have the charisma of a Reggie or a Iwata.
So for him to be doing them or to try and be doing something like that isn't really his style.
No one expects it anymore. The directs have already changed once Kimishima took over. They're very streamlined. They're very like, here's a timeline of stuff, and what's this next game going to be? And they have like a narrator that has nothing to do with any of it. Sometimes there's a little tiny, like the Bowser joke at the beginning of one, but like, that's it. It's very streamlined. People don't care. People are fine with it being streamlined because what's always mattered the most from Nintendo Directs? The games.
Right.
Yeah. So like the reason we're antsy is because we're like, we have Animal Crossing from Nintendo, and then what?
Maybe they're working on something big.
What? Like it's not just something big. It's like, what? We have a whole year here. We have one game.
Yeah, but there's different ways to go about it. There could be the Breath of the Wild way, where we see it for like 4 years straight, or there's more the Mario Odyssey, where they announce it and then a few months later it's out. You know.
Well, they announced Mario Odyssey almost a year before it came out. So
okay, 1 year still, not nearly the situation that Breath of the Wild was.
Well,
in.
at this point, though, think about it though. At this point, here's what we know: we're getting Animal Crossing. We don't know what we're getting from Nintendo at all after.
Sure we do. Pokemon happens every fall.
Yeah.
No, we're not. We're getting DLC this year. They're doing DLC this year.
But it does have new Pokemon and new areas.
Doesn't mean
it's kind of like new Pokemon.
Yeah, it's supposed to replace the new Pokemon every year.
Like having a third game or whatever, yeah.
But like, okay, so we know we're getting DLC, but like in terms of new games, we don't know anything. So at this point, anything they announce is, oh, hey, look, we're getting a new game in a few months. Thank you. But like,
so what they've done is they've kind of put a lot of announcements throughout the year. Maybe they're trying,
or maybe
E3 is the big thing again.
Maybe the real secret is they don't have anything for this year.
Maybe
they went through everything and they're just like, we got nothing ready.
Maybe.
This was supposed to be Metroid Prime 4 year, and we don't have it because we rebooted.
Bayonetta 3 year too. Then
so it's that Bayonetta 3, but like that's taking too long, so we don't have that this year. Breath of the Wild 2 was supposed to be this year, apparently, and now rumors are saying, it's delayed behind the scenes because that's not ready. So it's like, maybe they just don't have anything ready for this year, and it's just going to be the year of, let's just port the rest of the Wii U
have
games.
Smaller stuff for sure. You know, there'll be like a Kirby game. They're going to be the spin-off games.
Super Mario
Sports, maybe.
There will be a Kirby game because there's one every year.
Mario Party.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprising. But like,
Super in terms Mario Party 2.
Their major holiday release, news, like, what? Mario 3D World Deluxe? I mean, they'll have something. They'll have some sort of at least one big game for the holidays because they do every year. But
I prefer to be optimistic that they're going to drop something big.
Well, yeah. I personally, here's the thing: they have all their teams working on one system.
Right.
So,
but the most complex system they've ever had, so it takes longer.
I guess, but if you're used to working on 3DS, this is like. You see what they did with Pokemon? Like, I didn't really feel they did that much. They HD'd everything. So,
woo!
I'm not sure. I don't want to take too much credit away from them, but like, play the game. It doesn't really feel that ambitious to what Switch is capable of. It's a 3DS game in HD. I'm throwing that out there. I don't even care.
The game.
I don't even care. It is a 3DS game in HD that has an open world area.
Yeah, but that's always been their formula. When games that jump a generation and be like, it was basically the same as the previous generation.
No, but here's the thing. When things have jumped to home consoles, it's always been a massive change in the formula for the game.
Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. And people view Pokemon as a Nintendo thing, and it didn't. It just, here's HD.
I think, the expectations are high, but they didn't meet it.
But is that on us for having the high expectations?
Or is it
because we thought it was Nintendo and because the Pokemon Company and blah, blah,
Nintendo
blah.
owns the Pokemon IP and
Nintendo has a buttload of money, so they could.
I know
that's the thing.
Do more.
Yeah, the big thing for Pokemon fans is that, like, it is literally the number one IP in the entire world. It makes more money than basically anything. 16 million plus copies sold in less than a month.
Oh, yeah.
and it did that at $60 a pop as like the best-selling Pokemon game ever since Gen 1. And it's like,
It's awesome.
you have more money, like Pokemon Go. You guys have more money than God. How could we not get a better effort? Oh, because we got to line up with the anime. So then hire 1,000 people if it takes 1,000 people to get better. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all for them hiring 1,000 people. That sounds great.
Especially if you're just gonna like DLC. Okay, you're DLC in it this year. Okay, so that means you must have three years to work on, like, in total, to work on the next one. Yeah, next one better be the big leap then. No, it won't be. It'll just be more of the same.
Yeah, I think that they're just not ambitious enough.
They're
not looking to keep the old audience. They're just interested in the new 8-year-olds.
I think the Pokemon company doesn't care. It's like, look, we
so.
sold 16 million. Why are we
exactly.
gonna change?
Yeah.
Like none of it.
Yeah,
Oh, Nintendo's
yeah.
IPs did all these fancy things. Oh, and Breath of the Wild finally is a game that might hit 15 million, 16 million. We just did that without even trying. Like you spent 200, 300 million on that game.
Years.
We spent 10 million on ours.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel?
Right.
Right.
But it,
Did it in a year. How's that make you feel?
I don't know. They could be coming up with something behind the scenes to replace the directs. You never know.
Yeah.
Honestly. But then maybe that's why we haven't gotten.
Well, here's the
trying
thing.
To come up with
If
something
Nintendo
new.
gets rid of the directs, then E3 is suddenly like this big important thing again.
Yeah.
So then our first topic turns around to E3 matters again because
Yeah.
it's the
Right,
only
totally.
place Nintendo's giving you news.
Yeah.
We know there's going to be news. Here's the thing. Guys, we know Nintendo's presenting at E3 because they said they are. So I guess look forward to June 13th or whatever day it is.
Yeah.
Because
well,
that's
geez,
when...
was it 4 months?
Oh.
Yeah.
Nintendo Directs are
Literally 4
canceled.
months.
Yeah.
And then like the
Maybe.
rumors go out, oh, there's gonna be 2 directs this month. I'm like, I guarantee there'll be an Animal Crossing direct at some point. Of course there will be. We got a Smash one of Pokemon. There'll be an Animal Crossing one. People are just like, what are we getting besides Animal Crossing this year? And likely more Wii U ports. And I think some people are worried that is it just that this is gonna be kind of like a down year,
Quote,
kind of
unquote, down year.
like 2018, where people looked at 2017 was amazing, 2018 was kind of it was okay, 2019 was great. Oh, is this year going to be the down year now? And it feels like a bad time to have a down year when the Switch has so much momentum.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
And like you said, it could be that software has been rescheduled.
Well-
Could be that they're hard at work at things that aren't going to come to fruition for another 2-3
well, I mean,
years.
people even said like, what did they kick off this year with, right? Oh, talking about Smash and talking about Pokemon, and like, okay, that's great. People get excited, but why are we talking about like a 2018 game as the first thing in 2020? You know, why are we talking
Right.
about a game that just came out 2 months ago as like the next thing we talk about in 2020? Like, why aren't we talking about anything new? Why is it just rehashing old? And I wonder if that's because
We
that's
have a
what
new
they're
game coming out in a month.
we're getting the
month.
wonderful 101 remastered is coming. Like, is that what we're gonna get this year? It's just gonna be old, trying to make it sound new again.
Don't know. I guess.
I mean, I'm waiting for because Breath of the Wild 2, might have been internally delayed. Can't say public because it wasn't a public date.
Right.
Like
Right.
at E3, watch their big announcement. Oh, now we have Breath of the Wild Deluxe Edition with all the DLC packed in for $60.
Oof.
no.
There's
Just have
gonna
another Master Sword statue because
attach the Master Sword for $60, and then you're sold. I mean, you'll sell a billion copies of that, but. No, I don't think Nintendo's going to go that bad. They've been pretty good about not repackaging all their DLC back together again to sell it to you for $60. And you know why?
Yeah,
Because they still
definitive edition.
sell the base game for $60. They don't have
yes,
to
they
do that.
do.
And the DLC.
They want to devalue the base game. They can't do that.
Ew.
Maybe they'll bundle it together for the same prices you can already buy right now today. I don't know what they're going to do.
Now watch, we get a surprise direct.
There's going to
week.
I think there's still going to be a direct this month. But like, there's so much pressure on it now.
Should be.
I mean, we're getting to almost half a year.
Tomorrow, surprise Valentine's
Oh,
Sure.
there you go.
direct.
Let's do it.
We love you all.
Start my day with a big love from Nintendo. No warning.
Yeah.
And I want to wake up to my Twitter feed blowing up to a whole bunch of announcements.
Exactly.
You know what? I need them to do more of the quirky stuff that they were doing in the past in the Wii U era.
You know what?
With where's another one of those Pushmo games?
Oh yeah.
Give me Pushmo.
Remember
Like,
when
it doesn't have to
they
be a big game.
Yeah.
Dylan's Rolling Western? I'll take that right now. Let's get a sequel.
Yeah, he gets all.
What was
Emo
that? What was
Goth in
that? What
last
was that
one.
baseball game they had on 3DS. That was
Rusty's Real Deal
yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah,
It's so much fun.
Just give me something. I'll take a Nindy. Can we get a Nindy Direct at least?
Absolutely.
Like I'm so thirsty for something that I'm thinking on my channel, I'm just gonna come up with a way to rehash old Switch Pro rumors every day until Nintendo gives me something else to talk about.
Yeah. Right.
There you go.
All right, so real quick, I do want to touch on this last topic a little bit with this Animal Crossing stuff. So there's been kind of two things happening with Animal Crossing. One, there was kind of this weird thing where they had in-game purchases listed on their website, and then it vanished as of today. So people were wondering, I put up a video time. People were, is that microtransactions? Is that whatever? Now it's gone. So I don't know. Maybe someone made an oopsie, or it gave away information about the game they didn't want given away yet. I don't know. That rating, guys, doesn't come from Nintendo, by the way. In-game purchases is a rating specific to the ESRB rating. So Nintendo doesn't tell you they have in-game purchases. ESRB does. But
could that correspond to DLC?
It could. Don't know. Okay. We don't know anything.
It's not necessarily microtransactions.
Yeah, but we don't.
But it's something purchasable in some way.
Supposedly, but now it's gone. So people thought, oh, is it the Nintendo Switch Online service? I'm like, I doubt it, and I proved in a video that it shouldn't be the Nintendo Switch Online service. Lo and behold, you still need the online service to do online things on it, and now it's gone. In fact, you need the online service because Animal Crossing New Horizons is being added to the Nintendo Switch Online app.
That is my favorite app. I use it daily, personally.
Yeah.
I got a new phone back in November or something. I don't think I've even contemplated downloading that app.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, clearly it has to be because there's going to be voice chat. I assume with people coming to your island or whatever, and you could have your friends on one island, 8 friends or 7 friends. Okay. They hardly add any games to the app ever. This almost feels like this is the first update to the app in over a year. Yeah. They haven't added any of the promised features.
You know what Nintendo's really good at doing is letting things go. Instead of trying to say, "Oh, we're sorry, we'll fix it," they're just nah, we'll just walk away. Next one, maybe.
Oh wait,
huh?
that was and then you say something to Nintendo, and they're like, "Wait, that was a thing." Wait, I don't know.
Why does this app still exist in 2020?
Miitomo. I mean, at least they gave it a couple of updates, but
that was a really cool.
Sure,
that was a cool
big.
Concept. It was a cool concept.
But it was a year and it was gone.
It was almost too quirky though. Nobody played it because it was a little too creepy with how it oh yeah, you could have Reggie and make Reggie go kiss Miyamoto. It's what? Okay, this is a little. I don't know about this one. I'm not so sure what's happening right now.
It was an oddity, to be sure.
But there's some people that were really into it, so I don't know. Everything has a cult following. I'm sure there's a cult following for the Nintendo Switch Online app.
I'm sure.
I bet you if I comb through the internet just right,
I'm sure
I'll find the Nintendo Switch Online app fan base. The fan base will be it's the greatest voice chat app of all time. Oh my gosh, the quality of the chat is so amazing. Oh. And you know what? It's even worse for me because now I have an iPhone and I don't even have a normal headphone jack.
Yeah, way to go.
So it's even worse for me now.
Yeah, way to go.
Because if I don't have the set my thing came with, they don't even. See, when they first got rid of the headphone jack, they at least packed a dongle in. Oh no! Now you got to pay an extra $40. You want that dongle?
Yeah. So
I'm just screwed. I can't use the app even if I wanted to because then I have to have it on speakerphone.
Yeah. God.
This is just
well, that's what you get for going back to Apple.
Yeah, that's my fault, but this is just dumb. I was hoping that I'm like, okay, they have to have voice chat for it. I get that. Can we just go back to when it was simple and just called We Speak?
Yes.
Literally, it's just voice chat in the game with a microphone, a really crappy one that you have to buy extra.
You put on top of your TV.
Yep.
Can you just get Discord? I mean. Just put Discord on the Switch.
Discord offered to be the official voice chat for, and they're like, nope.
Why? I don't get it.
Here's the thing: they use Google for their voice chat, which is not a bad choice. That's what most Android things use. But it's I I understand that why somebody thought it was a good idea to put voice chat on a phone, because everyone has a phone. Takes processing away from the Switch. It can be more reliable in some ways. I get the idea. Mm-hmm. What I don't get is how they decided that was a better idea than what literally the entire world does. Mm-hmm. Why do people chat on their phones or voice chat or call people? Because that's the purpose of the device.
The thing is
when you're playing video games on a certain thing, like your PC, on your Switch, on your whatever, and you want to chat to people in the video game you're playing, you do it on the same device you're already on. PC, you use a different app. That's fine, but it's still the same device. I'm not leaving my computer to voice chat with people while I play PC games.
The thing is you could probably put just another small little processor on it for the voice chat in and of itself.
Oh, here's the funny thing. Well, there's 4 unused CPU cores on Switch right now.
Or there's that too. Right, because it's like when you go to the home screen, game is still running. You can pop into the store. Doesn't affect your game. Still running. Obviously, they leave aside all sorts of computing power.
There's local voice chat already on the Switch. It's just in third-party games.
Like that's right. Like Fortnite. Yeah.
So it's already there.
Yeah.
Nintendo just... Nah, we're good. We're going to make you go use an app and just make it more convoluted and dongle it up if you want to combine your voice chat and your video game sound in the same headset.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, or you can do it for bringing anything new to this app and reopening these old wounds. It still hurts.
You could do what some people do. They take the little buds and they put them in, and then they put cup headphones on top of it so they can try to hear everything at once. Yeah. Oh, it's so dumb.
When I mow my lawn, I put in headphones and then ear protection from the lawnmower.
Yep.
Voice chat in one ear, game sound in the other.
It's just such a
perfect.
Yeah. I'm sorry, like guys. I know my coverage of Animal Crossing New Horizons has been like kind of negative lately, but I just
weird stuff they've been doing.
It's
with
just
it.
Weird. They're like.
I mean, the game's probably good. Hopefully.
They're messing around with your save file. Like, you can't transfer your save file to another Switch system locally.
Yeah.
And yet it's also not part of the cloud system, so you can't do that. But then, you'll be able to get it in some other form sometime in the future. But, like, you need to be part of the Nintendo Switch Online service, but it's not part of the cloud stuff. You might have to call customer service. It's like, why is it so convoluted? I get it. Our save information, because this is what I'm guessing. Animal Crossing seems like it's an always online game at this point, so like that's fine. It's an always online game, so all our data is stored. Well, mostly I'm sure you'll be able to play offline on the go, but I don't know how does that work. If you're playing offline on the go and you want to save, how do you save?
Does it save locally?
A temporary local file that vanishes once you connect to the internet. I don't know. Anyways, because they said what it is your data technically, because what Nintendo announced is that the data technically exists on a server. And sometime in the future, you'll be able to recover that data only if you have a broken Switch, a lost Switch, or a stolen Switch. You upgrade your Switch, we can't give it to you.
I have an example. Pokemon Bank. So my friend has done a crazy thing, and when the 3DS games, Pokemon games came out, up until that point, he caught every possible Pokemon, and more than that, he had one of each. So he didn't just like catch something and then evolve it to the end. No, he had in possession one of every stage of all Pokemon that you can catch. Yeah. There were some tournament Pokemon that you had to like be at the tournament to get. So it wasn't technically a complete Pokedex. Anyway, we're talking 800 some Pokemon. He had one of all of them. He put it in the bank. Years went by. He had given away his system, and he couldn't get the data back. So he was like, well, I lost all my Pokemon. Well, Pokemon Home comes out this year. Just came out recently.
Yep, just came out.
Hooks it all up. All of his Pokemon are there. But it was gone. Right? That's what they told him. After a certain amount of time, your Pokemon are gone. Nope, still there. So that might be the kind of crap they're going to pull with Animal Crossing. Sorry, it's gone. But then 2 years later, you're like, but there it is. Yeah. It's right there. In your new app. Why'd you lie to me? Mm-hmm. Why?
I don't get it. I don't know if I'll ever get it. I don't know what's happening anymore.
It's Nintendo.
Anything that involves online with Nintendo, Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like,
out.
gaming is so intertwined with the internet, and like it feels like game streaming on the horizon. Like, Nintendo is very good at what they do and not so good at what they don't do. And the problem is with what they're not so good with, everyone else is good at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like it's one of those things where they tried it once, 20 years ago, and then it wasn't awesome back then, and they've just never really fully committed to coming back to it again. Like we had satellite connection on NES or Super Famicom.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome,
the television,
but it wasn't very successful. So I guess
no one was using it.
Right, it was a terrible example, but like they just abandoned. Like the Super Mario movie comes out and it doesn't do amazing. Let's just not make movies for 20+ years. Like, well, you didn't have to go that far.
No, it reminds me of the scene in Conkers where I can't remember the hypergravity chocolate or the anti-gravity chocolate. He's like, kind of works, and then just throws it out the window. It's like, kind of works, out the window.
Yeah,
I don't know. Nintendo, and here's the weird thing, like Nintendo and Microsoft have been kind of buddy a little bit. Like, why can't you hey Microsoft, can we just change our whole online system, Xbox Live, and just be done with it? Just be done.
Yeah,
just or fine, it's Xbox Live behind the scenes, but we'll call it Nintendo Online or whatever.
Right, it's rebranded.
It's just a
rebranded alerts instead of green alerts.
A Nintendo version of Xbox Live.
You mean kind of like Edge is kind of a Chromium browser under the hood.
Well, it is Chromium.
Yeah.
It is Chromium.
So it's kind of Chrome on the...
Almost every browser on the internet is a Chromium browser now.
Yeah.
Like, every browser, I think Firefox is the one that's not.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's Xbox Live under the hood, but it's not Xbox Live.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, look, you're already buddy with Microsoft. Screw it. Just you're both billion-dollar companies. Just make it happen. Like, Microsoft's not even trying to compete with you. So just be like, hey, we want our fans to actually like our online system. Mm-hmm. Can you do something about it? Thank you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for the podcast this week. Got through all of our topics. It's been a long time talking about E3. E3 was in the thumbnail, so I expected that to be the big topic of the night. So probably won't have much to say on E3 until there's more to talk about, I suppose.
Right.
Here's breaking news from like a few days ago. Limited Run Games is going to save E3. They announced they're doing a press conference, and they've been advertising every single day. We're going to save E3.
People that did the amazing one last year.
I think it was Digital Devolver.
You're right.
Devolver Digital, yeah.
Devolver Digital, yeah, and they're doing another one.
Oh my
this year too.
That was such a great press.
Well, they've been doing that for a few years, and they're just like starting to finally gain real attention for it.
Yeah,
they have a continuing storyline.
They do. They have a story arc. It's awesome. And even if you don't know it, it's still really entertaining. It's good.
Totally forgot about it the last couple of years. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think they were the ones that when Jeff Keighley announced he wasn't going to be at E3, they responded to him, hey, just because you're not going to be at E3, would you like to be at our press conference? Because now we got to involve Jeff Keighley into our storyline.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, Limited Run Games announced that they're going to do, and like Limited Run Games, they just literally make limited runs of games. So I don't know.
Not exclusively though.
No, not exclusively. No.
Yeah, so sometimes people come to them and say, hey, do you want to just publish our games?
Yeah, publish our games. So I don't know. I'm sure they're trying to probably make a meme and a joke out of the fact we're going to save E3, but like
for a limited run.
Does that imply the end of E3?
You know they're going to make that joke. Yeah. They're going to make that joke. Yeah. It's going to happen. Because I don't even think Limited Run Games is at E3 as a exhibitor. I don't think I saw them on the exhibitor list.
If they are, they're one of the smaller booths.
But they're growing, I wouldn't be surprised if they're.
I don't know. They might have the best announcement of all of the press conferences. You never know. Well, here's the thing. I say that. We know Xbox is going to have a whole bunch of stuff. It all depends on what does Xbox do before E3, because we don't know if they're going to do a reveal event before E3 or not. But
right.
Nintendo, please, Jeff Keighley, would you like to host this? Jesus.
Oh, good.
No, if anything, Reggie and Jeff Keighley will just make their own direct event. And then I don't know what'll be in it. Just lots of hope for Mother 3.
Keanu Reeves, get him in there too. Why not?
Yeah. Just build all this hype for these people who have nothing to do with Nintendo anymore, and just
Yeah.
just be like, hey, look, I have Miyamoto's number. I can make things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can check out the podcast eventually, the audio version on iTunes, Google Play, Anchor.fm, pretty much anywhere that you like to hear podcasts. The Channel Prime Podcast is there. It hasn't returned fully in audio form yet. I'm having some issues with my audio editing for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I will get it sorted out, I promise. Just got to get in a habit. I think I'm going to start making every Saturday my day that I make sure I get because I'm not really doing videos on Saturday, so I'll take an hour to get the audio version done. Not a big deal. I want to thank 5J as always for being here. When we actually have our podcast on time, that's when he's here. Eric as well. If you want to check out 5J, do you even have any content going on, or are you still kind of in your hiatus mode?
Yeah, I'm thinking about how I want to come back. Kind of change things a bit.
Start dropping F-bombs.
No, well, I think more of
No,
like
you
how
don't
I
have to
want
do
it to
that.
fit into my life.
Yeah.
Because when I started, life was less busy than it is today.
Well, of course, that's how life goes.
Right.
As you
right.
age, it doesn't get less busy. It gets
Right,
more
yeah.
busy.
Right. Yeah. So, thinking about what I'm gonna do with it.
All right, so thinking about it, you can see links to all of his stuff down in the description if you want to get on that 5J
Hundreds
comeback
of
trail.
videos.
Get on that 5J comeback trail. Keep begging him. Hitting him up on social media. Keep begging him. He'll eventually feel obligated to have to come back and do some sort of comeback stream or comeback video or something. I have no idea. But, he's always on the comeback trail here because he's part of the Nintendo Prime Podcast. Thank you so much for stopping out, everyone. If you want to show support for the podcast itself, specifically the podcast, you go to patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. The coolest tier is our $20 tier where you can be on an episode of the podcast. We had someone on last week who was part of that tier. So if you guys was gifted that spot by someone from the tier, thank you, Sonic Man the Best, for being on last week, and Corey for buying his spot. So thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next week, same time, 9 p.m. every Thursday. Peace out.
Until it's not.
Till
See
it's
you guys.
not. Till it's not.